What's up, you guys? A lot of you have been asking about, hey, what are your live trainings like? We've been watching you on YouTube. We see a lot of your videos. What are your live trainings like? So what I'm going to give you I don't know if it's the first time, but I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look into one of our live trainings where we talk about the 133 touch database system. Because if you're watching this and you're in real estate, you understand how important the database communication plan is so that you're not chasing deals 30 years from now, that you build a referral-based real estate business. And in this training, that's exactly what I train all of my agents live, and you're gonna be able to see what that looks like. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're talking today about database, right? And so arguably, and you could debate it, it could be, I believe, the most important thing in your real estate business and in your real estate career. Some would debate that lead generation is more important, but I believe that what we're talking about today takes the upper hand, okay? So what we're going to do, first off, I want to ask you guys why you believe that the database is so important. And if you just have a thought, just go ahead and blurt it out.
Tracking.
What is it?
Tracking.
Tracking. What else?
Contact.
Huh?
Contact.
Contact. Just keeping contact? Keeping in contact. Yeah, what else? Why is it important? Why do we need the database?
Generating referrals and leads and staying top of mind.
Okay, so that's exactly right. So that's what I wrote down here. The goal of the database is two things. And Brenda, we didn't practice this before class. You just knew it. It's two things. So write this down. Bryce, I love the haircut. High and tight. I just got mine faded up too. Looking good. Two things of the database. One, generate sphere business and referral business. Hey, Colin, my cell phone is in my vest pocket, I think in the right or left hand. Will you bring that up here real quick? And two is to stay top of mind so that you can work with the folks that are in your database, and you can work with the people that know people in your database, right? You've all heard that time and time and time again. So what we're trying to do is this. So this was yesterday. Can you just read this loud? Don't mess this up. Read that out loud.
I just gave your number to a customer of mine at the bank, selling his home on Rooster. Lots of land. Wants a new realtor, listed over $1 million. His name is also Dave.
Okay, so how cool is it to wake up in the morning and get that in your text message, right? Hey, I gave your number to one of my clients. He wants to sell his house in Rochester. It's roughly $1 million listing, right? Well, how do we do this as agents? Most real estate people, they don't have a strategy for making that happen. They just do what? Hope and pray. And hope is not a strategy. Like in the business plan, Brad, when you put hope on there, remember when I X that out? You can't have hope. Hope can't be the strategy for you to build a business, okay? All right, so what are the two goals of the database? Connor, what's one?
Top of mind.
Okay, Brad, what's the other one? Okay, what's the other one, Marnette?
Generate business from your sphere and referrals.
That's right. So that's the goal, right? So here's what I want you guys to do. I need you to create this on a piece of paper for me. There are 7 sections going down the left-hand side, and then 3 columns going vertically. Try to make that as quickly as you can. The first section is going to be named VIP. The next one is going to be hot leads. The last one's going to be warm leads. Okay? 7 sections going down the left-hand side, 3 columns going vertical. What I'm going to give you today is a process of communication with everybody in your life, okay? So that when you walk out of this room today, Julie, you know exactly what to do. Sound fair? Sound like a deal? All right, cool. Okay, side note, on a separate sheet of paper, I'm going to give you a little cool tactic that you should implement right away. So you have a new contact. This is like moving forward, from this day moving forward. You meet somebody at a mixer. You meet somebody at a networking event. You talk to an absentee owner, Marnette. You talk to a bold lead, Brad. You talk to anybody, any new contact, 3 things should happen. Number 1 is they get added to the database, which we're about to talk about. Number 2, they get added on Facebook. Well, Brandon, I don't want to add all these strangers to my Facebook page. Hey, don't do it. And then number 3,
Just don't do it.
handwrite thank you card. Marnette, it was great meeting you last night at the mixer. I loved hearing about your new business venture. You know, let me know if I can ever be of assistance with any of your real estate needs. I'll look forward to talking with you in the future. Sincerely, Billy Bob. Okay? Anytime you have a new contact, if you can do this, so for you, Connor, as you're calling, prospecting, doing direct prospecting, Jacob for you too, Bryce for you too, anyone that's doing direct prospecting or any type of anything, you should have a stack of handwritten cards that are all already written up. You can do this on Vistaprint. You can type in what I just gave you, that script I just gave you, get 100 of them printed, so they're just sitting by your desk, and you're sending out these thank you cards every day. So as you're prospecting, if you generate 3 leads from FSBOs, expireds, past clients, centers of influence, calling around your listing, and you generate 3 leads, all 3 leads, this is what happens to them, okay? Because it's going to matter in just a second. You guys with me? All right, cool. Number 1, so you guys all have this on your little piece of paper, your little diagram. Number 1 tactic is email, okay? Under the VIP, this is going to be weekly, hot leads, weekly / daily, warm leads, weekly. I'm going to give you a really cool kind of your own communication strategy. Connor's probably doing this in Excel, aren't you?
Yeah.
Good job. Smart. Okay, so let's talk through this. The weekly email should be the foundation of every real estate agent's database communication plan. But Brandon, I don't know what to send, right? So let me help you out, Allison. Let me help you out. You have 3 options. You can, the easiest thing to start off with, you guys all good with this? I'm going to erase this. You guys all good? All right, cool. The easiest thing to do, okay? And when I talk about VIP, what I'm talking about, VIPs equals your top 50 or 100 favorite people on earth. For you, I know it's not your twin sister, but all the other people that you like a lot, okay? Great past clients, great business partners, great friends, great family members. Go on this list. This is what I'm talking about when I talk about the VIPs, okay? So, regardless of what list this is, the first thing you could do for your weekly email is MLS auto email. And it's either A, listings, B, sold search. Here's what I mean, okay? So let's just take people from each one of these lists for a second, okay? So mom, how many people here have a mom? No one has moms in here, okay, sweet. How the fuck were you guys all born? I'm just kidding. All right, so mom, okay? So mom owns a home, all right, Marnette? So she is gonna get a weekly email with sold data because mom owns a home. So this question is, do they own a home or not? Okay, own home. Yes, no. All homeowners in the database, regardless of source, if they own a house, You can all go into RealComp, into the MLS, draw a little radius right around their neighborhood, and send them all of the active, pending, and sold data, right, that they get every single week, right? With your little peanut head at the end of your signature, they see a pretty little face every week, every week, every week, every week. And guess how many times you got to set this up? Tell them, people that know how to do this. Once. So Allison, the easiest way to do your weekly email database that you do one time for each lead, you should only be generating 3, 4, 5 leads a day if you're really working at it. So it's not a lot of work. That's one option, okay? Well, what if you're generating Zillow leads as an example? They don't own a house, they rent. Well, what would they get? You're going to set them up on listings, right? That's your weekly, daily email. Okay? What if you talk to a bold lead, Brenda, that's looking to buy next year? Okay? Well, you can send them up daily listings, weekly listings, whatever you want. This is the easiest way to execute on the weekly email. Okay? And I think it should be the foundation of the database communication plan. It's the easiest thing to execute. Well, Brandon, what if I want to do more? Okay, great. Let me show you an example. So I'm going to give you one of our agents at our company. Can you see that okay? All right. You guys know Nick. Part of his accountability with me, if he doesn't do this, I'm on his weekly email, okay? So if I don't get this email, he pays me $1,000. $1,000, it's crazy, I know. But here's his, okay? So the other one here, let me show you. Oh no, did that come off me? The other one is content, okay? Let me show you. What do you mean content? I don't understand. Well, you are in real estate, every single one of you. How many of you got a question from a buyer or a seller in the last 30 days? Raise your hand. Okay. Allison, you're working through, this is your first transaction on your own. You're going through this buyer transaction for the first time. How many questions does this dude have for you? A lot. Every single one of those questions is a piece of content, okay? So, that you can talk about. He's talking about, you can't see it because it's far away. He sends us his database every single week. What is the market saying about your price? And so he wrote this. He just wrote this little thing, you know. Good old Nick Ottenbacher wrote this thing, you know, like, whatever. He's like, he's a great guy, but like, anybody could write this. Any one of you could write this. This was just content. What just keeps happening to me? Just wrote this. And then at the top of this, I don't know why that's linking up. He sends these, look at my inbox. I just put in Nick. He sends these every single week. And then sometimes he'll link these to a video on his YouTube channel, right? But the other option here is to create content every week. Now I know what you're saying, Brandon. I keep hearing you say this. I'm never going to do that. Okay, great. Then don't. Then just do this one. Okay? But if you wanted to, how many of you want to see me create a weekly email video right now, right on the spot, and show you how easy this is? Raise your hands if you want to see it. All right. It's kind of like, yeah, dude, let me see this. He ain't going to do this. So watch. So how many of you are getting questions right now from people that you know about should I sell now or wait till the spring? About 75 times a day? Okay, cool. Well, what a great piece of content you can make to send out to all these people, right? They would love to learn about that. You're getting questions on it anyways. So you don't have to overthink this. You could create a small little video. You could put it on your blog, on your KV Core website. You can put it in an email through KV Core and blast it out to all these people that you have emails for, okay? And the video, well, Brandon, what am I going to say in the video? I'm so uncomfortable, so now I'm going to pick on one of you. I'm just kidding. You guys always got so nervous. You could just shoot a quick video, right? Hey guys, it's Brandon, your real estate agent for life. And in today's video, I'm talking about the market. Should I sell in the spring? Should I wait in the winter, right? We get those questions all the time. And so here's some facts for you to consider. This is for all of you too. I'm shooting this video in front of a class, so that's fun too. Okay, so I'm on video, and maybe we'll send this out to the database, maybe we won't. But here's what I would say. And this is shooting. Say hi. Hi. Okay, cool. So that's going to be on, that's a cool piece of content. All right, so here's the question. Brandon, should I wait till the spring because the winter, like, it's not good? Well, here's two facts. I looked at the city of Rochester. I want you guys all to write this down. I looked at Rochester July of 2018, December of 2018. And let me get my facts so I have the facts right. You guys can all look this up. In 2018, I'm back. In this July of 2018, there was 215 homes that sold, okay? Hottest time of the market, that's what all the consumers think. It's the best time to sell, right? Say right. That's what all the consumers think. Well, in December of 2018, there was 220 homes sold. Well, so what, Brandon? What does that matter? Well, that matters because there's actually more home sales in December, which is typically the second biggest closing month in the MLS, behind July. So what the data showed us was there was not a lack of sales. Well, talk to me about listings for a second. Well, listings in July, there was 365 listings in July of 2018 in Rochester, and only 347 in December. So what does this mean that you're watching this? This is a matter of supply and demand. So as the consumers think that it's better to list their house in the summertime, all that they're going to get more of is more showings. But what the data shows us is that the sales are the same. So if you think about this, really, when is the best time to sell? You could make the argument that winter is the best time. There are less homes on the market and the same amount of sales. Now, I'm not a genius. You guys are a lot smarter than me, but tell me what's happening here. We'll leave this going because this is going to go out to my database. Less homes for sale, same amount of homes sell. What happened? No one knows. Okay, well, here's what happened. What'd you say? Well, what happens is the marketplace, there's more serious buyers, more homes are selling, less to choose from. So you could argue that, Melissa, if you put your house up on the market during the winter time, you could actually have a better chance of selling. You could, because there's less to choose from, earn a higher price. Because what the data is showing us, Melissa, is that the home sales, they don't go like this. This is a consumer misconception, and this is the point of the video. The point of the video is there's no right or wrong time to sell your house. Matter of fact, you could argue that winter is better because there's less competition. The number of homes that come on the market during the winter goes whoosh. Number of sales stay the same. That means that the buyers, the actual buyers for the home, they don't hibernate. You may get more showings, more tire kickers during the summer, but the offers and the sales stay the same. So hopefully that makes sense. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week, right? And I would end it like that. Boom, I actually recorded that. And that would go out to my database. That would be a piece of of content that you could send out. That would be an example. You don't need to overthink it. You don't need any fancy equipment. You know, stupid iPhone, a stupid stand off Amazon for $2, right? And you shoot a little video like that. Is there value in that for the consumer? Yeah, I mean, they're all asking you anyways. They want you to tell them that. And so if you look in the MLS and you start looking through the numbers, you'll shock yourself as a real estate agent. And if you call yourself an expert, you should know these numbers, okay? All right, so any questions on weekly email? That's number one. All of you can do that. All of you can start with sending everybody in your database. Now in the beginning, yes?
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
If you're going to send out listings, how do you know, like, what the parameters are? If it's somebody maybe...
Yeah, let's just call it, it's Uncle Bob.
Know that well?
Yeah, it's Uncle Bob, and he's not an active buyer, and he rents, right? What I would do is, off the best of my, it's a great question. I'm surprised that she caught that. Most people don't, and I'm glad that you brought it up. It's because what I told her was, you're either putting these people, if they own a house, they get the neighborhood around their house. If they don't own a house and they're not looking to buy today, should they still get a weekly email? Mm-hmm. Yes. And so Brenda says, well, how do I do that? What listings do I send them? So I'm just using my best judgment on what I know of the person, and I'm very broad, right? All I'm doing is, because every single one of you is the same way, I know they're in bed looking at Zillow anyways, because I just want to give them the data, right? So Uncle Bob's going to get all the houses in Rochester for X amount of price, and I'm going to send him everything, right? He's going to get 200 active listings, and I just want him to get pummeled by all these listings I'm sending him, right? So it's not specific. And then the hotter the lead, the more specific that daily or weekly email would become. But I still want that content in front of Uncle Bob. I still want him to see my little peanut head every single week, you know, with listings, right? And what's cool about the MLS with the weekly email? What's a really, really cool thing that we get to see when we send out that email to people? Anybody know?
If they're using.
That's right. Pretty powerful. So now imagine a world, Uncle Bob's looking at the listings, and he keeps looking at this one, right? Uncle Bob, it's Brandon. Hey, that email I sent you, it seems like you're enjoying that. Do you have any questions on that specific house? Or Susie, or the person you grew up with? Do you have any questions about that specific house? Do you want me to send you any details? Do you want to go see that thing? Well, shit, sure, I'll go see it. So there's some valuable information there. Any other questions about the weekly email? Simple enough, like can you start with just the MLS piece? I know the content piece is like, sounds good, and maybe you do it, maybe you don't. But the MLS piece, that's pretty simple, yeah? Cool, all right, number two. So remember I told you add everyone into the Facebook page? How many of you in here have seen Jim Nelson's Facebook show? How many? Raise your hand. A couple of you. All right, cool. So this is free, okay? So this is weekly for all sectors because all these people should, the best database all of you have in this room is Facebook, is that tool. That is the best, it's the best database you could ever have. So I want all of these people, what is the Facebook show? Brandon, what are you talking about, show? Well, what I'm talking about is creating a piece of content, just like I said. Like this week's show is going to be about, should you sell your house now or wait till the spring? What a great piece of content to go on a live Facebook video, right? Where your sphere's watching you talk and you're positioning yourself as an expert. Right? That's how you're pouring into this database. So the Facebook show can go across all sectors and it happens weekly, okay? Next week, you're gonna have a topic. Well, do open houses actually work? How do you price your house? What is an EMD? What happens in a multiple offer situation? It goes on and on. All these questions you got from Billy Bob that you're working with right now, those are all pieces of content for your email and your Facebook Live each week, right? Lo and behold, you start to have people on your sphere say, dude, this is unbelievable. I keep seeing all your videos. I keep seeing all your emails. We're thinking about selling next year. It will happen if you do the work. Right, Brad? It will happen if you do the work, okay? Any question on tactic number 2? Okay. Tactic number 3 is direct mail. VIPs, monthly, hot leads weekly, warm leads quarterly. So I just introduced you guys to solve all your problems with direct mail, and that's banner season, which I'm going to have a lot more info on that here soon. But if you're a VIP, so we just did mine, and I just sent out, I don't know if I posted it on Facebook or not. I just did my monthly mailer. I do it every month to my VIP list. And it's just another piece of content that I write. It's just a letter, right? So Marnette, I'm not sure if you saw it or not. But this goes out every month. This just goes out every month, and it's just a piece of content. And I send it out to my top 50 or my top 100. Right now I've got like 116 people on my VIP list, okay? So they're getting something from me in the mailbox. So Bryce, if you had 100 people on that list, it's $50. Like I guarantee you, if I looked at your Chase account, you spent more at Starbucks this month than $50. You too, Julie, right? All of you. Tim Hortons, sorry. Yeah, you're a Tim Hortons guy. So it's not an expense thing. This just comes down to, and I just saw you doing yours the other day. Jen was just doing hers. I just saw her in her office the other day, and she was sending out her mailers, right? And so this can happen every month to a small group of people around some good content, okay? Well, hot leads. Like these are, yes?
Do you set up categories? I know you said that we go according to like the questions that we're getting, but I would hate to have like my weekly email, maybe my Facebook show, and my monthly mailer, like all the same thing. It's like, dude, I got it. Open houses, right?
Yeah.
So how do you kind of mix it up?
I do the same. I do the same topic weekly because all of these channels are different, right? Not every single person is going to open the email and read it. Not everyone's going to see this. Not everyone's on Facebook, you know? So for me, I got to keep it simple so if you start to overcomplicate it like that, now you're talking about 3 topics. I can't even get you to do 1, right? Now we're talking about 3 a week. So really what I'm talking about is 52 topics a year. Like we could do it right now, we won't, this group of real estate agents could come up with 52 topics to talk about. Easy. You could probably do it in less than 90 seconds, I guarantee it. You know, if you just sat down and just wrote them all down, you could have nice pieces of content. Connor, you just did yours this week, correct? What was your Facebook show about?
Home buying process geared towards first-time home buyers, common questions I've been seeing at buyer consults.
Did you guys see his? If you haven't, go watch it. Okay? And did you have like a fancy $7,000 camera and a lighting kit and a lighting crew?
I propped my phone up on my laptop.
And it was great. Look at the engagement this guy got from that thing. He crushed it, right? Was it real hard? No, okay.
It was hard doing it. I recorded it like 5 times before I felt
Comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I get that. That's a thing that we all have to get over. But you did it, right? So watch that as an example, okay? So monthly mailer to the database. Weekly mailer to if it's a very, very hot lead, okay? So this is like a buyer lead that you're working with or a listing lead that you met with and it's hot. Like this person could list their house with me at any time. Maybe a FSBO you met with. They should get something weekly from you, okay? And what I just introduced you guys to this week is a campaign through this company that can send out automatically, right? And so this company can do all of this automatically. And so I'm creating all these campaigns for you guys, and so that's the goal, is you don't have to think about this. You can just hit start, and this goes out, this goes out, this goes out. You don't have to think about anything, right? Because I'm trying to build that all on autopilot. But this is a weekly message to a specific person that you met with, right? You met this person at an open house, Julie, right? You sent them the handwritten thank you card. You know they're a hot lead. They're ready to buy a house in the next 30 days. I want to get something in front of them every single week. Okay? And then lastly, these are warm leads. These are all the people that are not on the VIP list, right? So all your close people are getting some monthly. All these people are getting like a quarterly market update, right? You can do it on a letter, type it up, or you could put it on a banner season card that goes out automatically. Questions on direct mail. The reason why it was so hard for the real estate community to do this was I got to remember to do it. I got to put it in my calendar. I got to hire this company. It was really hard to piece together, you know, and that's why I'm such an advocate of this company. They solved all of it for us, right? And so there'll be more coming on that, but that is my mail strategy. Let's keep moving forward. All right. Your favorite thing, phone calls. Your favorite thing. So on the VIP list, okay, so VIP is going to be 4 times a year. And I'll tell you what we're going to do there. Hot leads is weekly. Warm leads is monthly. Okay, people you don't call your sphere because it's like, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to come off like this weird person and I'm uncomfortable. I don't know what to say. Well, what if I just said, can you call these 50 people 4 times a year and grab a cup of coffee? Can you do that? And then like, oh yeah, see, like Melissa's eyes just perked up. She's like, yeah, I can do that, right? That's all I want you to do. So the first section, your VIP under phone call strategy, it's 4 times a year. Put it in your schedule. If you got 50 people on there, you can break out, okay, when do I need to call these people? Grab a breakfast. Grab a cup of coffee. Don't make it weird. Hey, Jen, let's get caught up. How are the boys? How's Josh? How's work? What's happening? That's it. We're not going to go there with some fancy script, you know, like, this is a business call. And your friend Jill's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we're going to the bar tonight or what? Yeah, like, what are you talking? You're not going to do that. That's why realtors don't do it, because coaches and gurus want them to have this fancy script for calling your sphere. Are you going to do that? Say no. No, but you go grab a beer, you go grab a cup of coffee. It's easy to grab lunch with people that you care about. Would you guys agree? Keep it simple. That's the strategy here. And all you're doing is talking about them. What happens with the law of reciprocity, Sam, if I take you to lunch and I'm just asking you about your life over and over again, what is she going to do every single time? Let me tell you, do you guys not know? She's going to ask about me. But what about you, Brandon? How are your girls? How's Amy? How's real estate? How's Brookstone? It's going to happen. Would you guys agree? Say yes.
Yes.
Yes, so easy, not hard. Weekly hot lead, okay? Buyer lead. FSBO expired, really, really simple. You're staying top of mind. If you don't call them, a more aggressive agent will, and they will earn the business. Believe me, it's happened to me so much. So if you generate a lead from whatever source you're working on, and they're a hot lead, what a hot lead to me is somebody that's looking to buy or sell a house in the next 90 days. Like any day, you could show them a property tonight, they'd read a contract, or you could talk to them again, go meet with them again, and they would sign a listing contract. So they have motivation to do something like any day now, but within that 90-day period. Warm leads are the people that are like, Marnette, yeah, we'll look at selling that house sometime next year. We're looking at buying a house sometime next year. That's a warm lead. Sorry, I should have given you that definition up front. Okay? These people are getting touched every single week. Hey, it's Brenda with Brookstone. I want to make sure you saw that new house that just popped up in the neighborhood that you've been looking at. Did you see that? No, I didn't see it. Yeah, it's on Main Street. It's 250. Do you want to go check that out? Buyers are simple because all you're doing on both of these weekly phone calls with both buyer and seller leads, you're referring back to what? The email. Now they talk to each other. Now when you're like, well, what do I say every week? All you have to do, Julie, is say, did you see the email I sent you last week? Have it open, right? And just say, did you see that one? I'm not looking at it, let's be honest. I look at the newest house that hit the market when I open up that list. That's what I do every time with a buyer. And then any new information with the seller MLS email, that's all the weekly touches. I'm just staying top of mind. Hey, do you want to get back together or do you want to schedule a showing? Seller, do you want to get back together, start looking at some options? Buyer, do you want to schedule a showing? That's the only thing on the weekly call, okay? Monthly call, these are just monthly touches. Hey, Jen, I know the last time that we talked, you guys were thinking about buying a house sometime next year. Is that still the plan or has anything changed? That's it. Monthly touch. Absentee owner, Marnette. Hey, it's Marnette with Brookstone. I know we talked about your rental property over there in Steamboat Springs. Has anything changed? That tenant's still paying on time? Everything's good? Yep, everything's good. Cool. I'll follow up with you soon. Boom. Every month, okay? So for those of you that are prospecting, you start building these long-term seller nurtures, they need to get a phone call every month. Any questions? Okay, next, number 5. Birthday program. Yes. No. No. So only my VIPs go on the birthday program. Really simple. They get a birthday card, okay, in the mail with a $1 scratch-off lottery ticket. I've got a bunch of them. If you've been in my office, you've seen them in my drawers. And a phone call. When you call somebody, I got this from he actually passed away now, a leader at Quicken. And I was off his team for so long. His name was Steve Piazza. There you go. So Jake knows him well. Like getting a phone call from Piazza on your birthday felt pretty special, right? Huh? Every year. Every year. I didn't even work for this dude for a long time. Hey, Brandon, it's Piazza. Just wishing you a happy birthday, man. Hope you and the family are doing well. Such an easy phone call. What's that?
My kids got cards.
Unbelievable. Dude, birthdays make people feel special. Melissa, I know you feel very special on your birthday, but if someone made you feel even better, you feel even better about it. So send them a card and just call them and wish them a happy birthday. That's all you're doing. People love the $1 scratch-off lotto tickets, by the way. You'll get text messages and pictures, and they're like, I won $5, thanks for the card. Thanks. The people start to look forward to these things, I'm telling you. Okay? So we're not doing anything with leads. This is just for my VIP list. Because if you do all of this, I'm not even done yet, but let's just pretend for a second, not that you will, but let's pretend that you do all of this. Julie loves that. Will these people, do you think you can earn that spot in their mind, at least give you some type of opportunity, one a year? So you have 50 people in there, that's 50 opportunities for the year, think through that. All right, next, number 6. This is really, really cool. So the annual real estate review. Brandon, what in the world does that mean? Yes, no, no. Only VIPs get this. Annual real estate review. This is massive in the mortgage industry. I just stole it from when I was a loan officer. And I said, well, why don't I just start doing this in real estate? And it's worked really, really well. Here's what it is. Every year, my top 50, my top 100 is getting a CMA in the mail, okay? I call them, talk through their home's value based on what I see every year, and then I ask them about their interest rate, what's going on. Do you need to pull cash out? What home improvements are you doing? I'm just doing, if you guys, every single one of you tell me I'm a real estate expert, I care about my clients, I give great service. Well, I'm like, okay, well, how many reviews have you done with your people? Oh, 0. Okay, so if you care, this goes a long, long way. You couldn't do anything more from a servant leader perspective, right? So every year, manual CMA. goes in the mail, right? Brenda, it's time for your annual real estate review. As I'm committed to your partner in real estate, I think it's my job to keep you up to speed with the home's value, right? So here's your annual value report. Imagine the power in this. And then you call them, hey, did you get this year's value report? Yes, Brenda, I freaking love the thing. Any questions on that? Do you see what's happening? You can give them like a range, a recommendation on what their price is, what their house is worth, right? Anything going on around the house, interest rates right now are right around 4%. Are you guys still in good shape? Any need to refinance? You can team up to your mortgage person, whatever. But the annual real estate review, right? Put it on your calendar for your top 50, top 100. So
you're who's in your top 100? Let's take you recruiting for this company. I'm talking about your.
Yeah, no, there are no agents in there. I mean, I have 116 people in it. It's all my best friends that I've grown up with, all the people, a lot of people you know. My favorite clients that I've done business with. I've got my divorce attorneys in there, CPAs, referral sources. So these are my favorite people. These are people that would either do business, I have done business with directly that I love, or that I know if real estate comes up, they got my back. These are my advocates. Like, these are my business partners. Like, I know if you're having lunch with somebody and someone brings up real estate, like, I know for sure that my friend Gordy's gonna be like, dude, call my boy. Just call him. Just call him. Just like Dave did. Dave is a manager at a bank. I know my boy Dave. Dave's on the list, right? He works at Chase Bank, and he just refers me business like that all the time. My divorce attorneys. So really close-knit type group of people, which brings me into the next thing I do for this group. Okay, so great question. Last thing, number 7. Annual event. Yes, no, no. For the VIPs. Brandon, event? Really? Yes, really. How many of you saw the video that I did for my event last year? I did it in the Real Estate One parking lot. Did you see it? I had my vendors pay for the whole thing. I had kids face paint. I had a petting zoo. I had bounce houses. I had food. I had it was crazy. It was like a fair. And I had all these people bring all their little babies, and it was sponsored by the Brandon Mulrennan home selling team. It was amazing. Now, I didn't start off that way. I started off with a barbecue at my house. And I cooked them hot dogs and hamburgers. And I just had a party and I had a cooler of beer. Like, that's what it was. That was my annual event, right? And it was just sponsored through, Julie G Real Estate, Jen Tate Real Estate, you know what I mean? That's what it was sponsored by. And so every year it started off with just a barbecue at my house. It was like 20 people there. Then it was bigger. Then I started doing these events because I got mortgage and title to throw in. I got my inspector to throw in. And we started doing these events every year. And then I would video with them. They grew into what you saw last year, right? But the annual client appreciation event. You can do the whole movie thing. You can go to opening day. You can go to a baseball game. You can go to a Lions game. Do different things, but showing these people how much you care, right? Go ahead, Barnett. Do you have a question?
So I was just going to ask somebody who I am guilty of not nurturing my database. I ran into a client 4 or 5 years ago, and she was like, Marnette, you don't remember me? And I'm like, no. Like, oh my God, I'm sorry, but yeah. So, like, if you're looking to build up, I would have top 50. I know you said, like, those clients, but how do you kind of get, I think we're at a great point because we're about to go into a new year. So,
yeah.
I mean, what would you do to get...
Re-engage.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
What can you do to re-engage?
Yeah.
Well, this thing when I talk about can start off with 10 people, right? And so if you look at all these things that I'm doing, it doesn't cost a lot of money, right? And it's very thoughtful things, and it will go a very, very long way. But like people like that, I just re-engage with a call, right? And I say, hey, Bob, I was just thinking about you. I know we haven't talked in a long time, and that's my fault, right? I'm committed to keeping you up to speed now as we move forward, if they're going to be in the list. My only question for you is if you haven't talked to them in four years, they probably don't go on this. This list is like your people, your people, you know what I mean? Like, if it's only 10, that's okay. I've talked to some of you about this. It doesn't have to be 50 or 100. You want to stretch it, but maybe you only got 22 people, Bryce, how many are in yours? Did we find out? Did we do? When I asked...
I reached out to everyone on my phone.
Yeah. What did we say? You said like 60.
I said like 60, but I would say probably of them like actual maybe 20.
Yeah, so when Bryce first started, this was the first thing he did, was try to create his top 100. In our first coaching session, he's like, dude, I don't got 100. I think you said it was 60, right? No problem. You know what I mean? It's like, because if you do this for 10 people, What are the chances of them giving you 10 opportunities? One opportunity for the whole year. You're pouring into these people, right? They're going to think about you, you know, like, what is this? Watch the power in this. What is that? Dude, it's a Nike swoosh. They have crushed every single one of our mind shares around that stupid symbol. Greatest book of all time, my favorite book by Phil Knight. But you're trying to do the same thing with these people in your database. Yes, ma'am.
So are we doing more like not as much friends and family, but more, I don't even know, like you said, like partners, people who, because a lot of times it's awkward friends and family thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like it can get awkward.
so yeah, my list has some friends and family, but not all. Right? So like, I mean,
Like my
this is on video, so I can't say it. I'm just
stepdaughter will refer God and everyone. My other stepdaughter is like, no.
Then she doesn't go on the list, you know? Like, I got some family that doesn't make the list, you know? So it's fear and business partners and past clients, right? So that's who goes on there. It's just your favorite people. Like people that like you would want to go to Honcho with. You know what I mean? So if you have to think about that, nope, they ain't on the list. Because you're going to pour into these people. You're going to do a lot of work here, right? So Jen's on your list, you know?
Let me know if I can help you with your real estate needs.
That's right. So you want to be strategic, right? You don't want to have a bunch of realtors on there. That would be dumb. But yes, you want to have referral partners. You want to have, again, your favorite people that you've worked with and for, and your best friends. Like, who's your best friend? Girlfriend. Give me one of their names.
Sherry Salanti, but she works for another realtor.
All right, well, she's not going to go on there, right?
It's like I have all these weird things.
That's okay. But maybe your list is only 6 people. That's okay. Yeah.
My other question
Yes, go ahead.
along with that is, you know, I've worked with a lot of mortgage people in the past, and I've given a lot of business in the past, and I find that I don't get, you know, any business in return. So how do you develop those relationships with mortgage people so that you can kind of have a give and take? Because I feel like often, you know, we as realtors are giving a lot out.
A lot out.
And we're not, you know, it would be nice just to let
I'm going to help all of you.
once in a while.
I'm going to help all of you. Okay. So, me too. So everyone comes to all of you with their hands out. Mortgage people, title people, home inspectors. So the way you turn that around is get the 50% budget. So let me explain. Okay, let me explain. All of you are about to hear about a program we're working on that's going to, if you want, put appointments on your schedule. Okay, so Jake, I told you a little bit about it. Julie told you a little bit about it. And Colton's leading that whole thing right behind you, so it's coming to fruition. That is coming from a mortgage partner who is paying for for 50% of it. Okay, so if I'm you, and I give Bob all my business. I'm like, Bob, I'm going to do some lead generation, and I want half. You know, that's what you do in return. Because the mortgage guy is not going to give you referrals, right? But what they want is more referrals. So if you go to these partners, builders, and say, hey, here's what I want to do, contribute half. RESPA says they can do 50% of the spend. That's how you partner back with them. Because no, they're not going to give you any referrals. So go leverage the relationship for more leads. That's what they want anyway, right? That's what you do. Cool. All right, so this is my database system. Doesn't get any more complicated than that. You don't have to do all of this, right? I would all recommend that you start off with one thing. Let me get really consistent doing my weekly email, okay? And before all of that takes place, there's probably some organization that has to happen, right? You probably got names and numbers scattered all over your life, right, Marnette? So there's some work to be had. Let me give you a recommendation of what goes on the list, okay? So after you figure out who it's going to be, here's what I recommend that you get, the information. So you get full name, first and last name. You get cell number, email, address, and date of birth. This is what I believe should be in a VIP list, right? But those are the 5 things you're looking for. So Julie, when you're doing this, when you're working on this right now as we speak, these are the 5 criteria. So if you've got an Excel spreadsheet open in the beginning, you got 5 cells, your job is to fill those things up. Bryce, what happened when I asked you, because this is a cool exercise, I think I told you this was going to happen too, when you started trying to fill in the blanks with those 60 people, you found something out, didn't you?
2 or 3 weeks.
Dude, he got 2 or 3 people that he knows that love him, he loves them, that told him just by saying, hey, what's your birthday? Oh, actually, we're looking to buy a house. So it happened 2 or 3 times just by filling in the blanks. Julie, I told you the same thing would happen to you too. It's amazing when you go fill in the blanks, what happens, right? It's like, hey, Jen, it's Brandon. I'm trying to, really organize all my contacts. And for whatever reason, I don't have your email. What's the best email for you these days? Blah, 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 blah. Cool. How are the kids doing? She says, great. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Crazy thing is, Brandon, that you're calling me, we're actually thinking about moving. Really? You know what I mean? That's what's going to happen to you when you create your VIP list. So that's my database system and my follow-up system. Most of the questions I get on all the stuff that I do is, I always lack in follow-up. Well, there it is. You see buy lead source and then the tactic. Go ahead, Marnette.
So I know we have the KV core system, and I was actually working on my database yesterday getting my cards ready. And no, I don't like KV Core's database. Maybe because I don't fully understand it.
Yeah.
I want to go back to my Excel. It's easier for me to move in Excel. Is it something? Okay, is it best just to because I can't seem to grip it. It's not as easy to flow with.
Yeah, so dude, I'm with you. KV Core is newer to me too. So everybody knows, you don't have to use KV Core. It comes with your membership at Brookstone. We have agents that do a lot of business who have never not logged into KV Core one time, just so everyone's aware, right? This is what Joe and you would come from FirePoint, right? You like FirePoint a lot more. You don't have to use it if you don't like it. It's just a personal preference. CRMs and databases, you want something different, everyone wants something different. What we said as a company was, there's a solution that does all this stuff. Use it if you want, You're not paying anything, right? So use it or don't use it, you get it anyway. So, yeah, it's up to you. That's right. I have different stuff like that too. So don't get it twisted. I have the same thing. I'm generating leads out of this system, and then it goes into this system, and every real estate agent's business is different. That's one of the hardest part about our industry, is all the different things that we need, all the different pieces of technology. It's hard. So yeah, whatever works best, Marnette, for you. Whatever's going to cause you to execute the highest, do that. Do that. Any other questions on any of this stuff? It's not really complicated, right? But there's some work that has to be done. And it's simple. For me, I had to have it simple, and I wanted it to be based on the law of reciprocity. I wanted it to be based on, all of us say, real estate's a relationship business. Every one of you have said that at some point in your life. Well, this is just how you show that. These are the actions you take to show people that you care, right? It's one thing to talk. This is how you show them. And then in return, what are people going to do? They're going to reciprocate. They're going to talk about you. You're going to win top of mind awareness. But I'll guarantee you this, and I'll end the training with this. I guarantee all of you this. 2 things. If you don't do this, your phone will continue not to ring. Okay? Will continue not to ring. And then 2, if you don't do this, if you stay in the business 10, 20 years from now, you'll still be chasing Zillow leads. That's what I can guarantee you. Okay, so that's the choice you got to make. Are you going to run this like a real business? And I'll leave you with one more thing. Great story. So, who I never would have thought has a system like this is my HVAC company. How many of you have heard this story? Nobody. All right, awesome. It is unbelievable, and I tell them every time, I'm like, man, if I could get agents to do what you guys do, they would be rich, but they won't do it. My HVAC company, they pretty much, and I didn't teach this to them, they do this pretty much to me right now. They call me twice a year, like clockwork. Dawn from Systematic Heating and Cooling, she smokes and it's like, hey, this is Dawn. It's really funny, but she's like, I was just calling for your annual spring checkup on the AC. I know you got those little kids. Let us come out and take a look, make sure everything's on the up and up. And they just did the same thing for our furnace. Okay, so we're on an email from them. They do a newsletter. They do an annual monthly mailer, and then she does her 2 calls. That's her database system. Dawn at Systematic. I'm sitting here talking to you about raspy smoker Dawn's at Systematic Heating and Cooling because of her database system. And because of that, they get a lot of work from us. And I'm sitting here telling you about this heating and cooling company. Well, what's the point? You want your people in this to do the same thing for you, right? In any industry, this works. If you sold cars and you did this, you'd sell a lot more cars. If you sold real estate, you'd sell a lot more real estate. Because you all think I'm bothering people. The only person that's being bothered is you because your bank account's empty. That's the only person being bothered. The people want to hear from you. Nothing I told you about today, Marnette, was like super high pressure, salesy. Dude, why are you not listing your house with me? Allison, why are you not sending me any referrals? None of that shit. This is all relationship-based, proactive communication system that should happen every single day. Cool? That's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys. See you, Brad.
See ya.